All right, thanks for joining us for another edition of City Matters, and our guest today is City Councilman for Ferguson, Brian Fletcher. Brian, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
I can't think of how many things have happened over the last year in 2015, but amid all of that, most, kind of a roller coaster ride of events. Talk about some of the positive things that have come out of it. Maybe things that you've heard from some folks in your ward or just within the community.
I think there's several positive aspects of what's happened since the tragedy of August 9th of 2014, but I think the community has come together much more than in the past. I think people are listening to one another's concerns and frustrations. One of the things I noticed right away is that the area food banks got together. They never really communicated as much, and by that I mean, for example, maybe somebody would come to, a single mother would come needing diapers and that pantry might be out of it. Now they meet quarterly, and they know what supplies one another has, and if they're not sure, they give them a call so they can direct services in a better fashion and more efficiently. So that's helping. Even prior to the tragedy, the Ferguson Ministerial Alliance wasn't fully a diverse organization. Now it is. It's true inclusion, and to that effect, that's good. And to that extent, we started an organization called the I Love Ferguson Committee back on August 14th of last year, and we've raised $300,000 now, and we've given almost most of the money away to 54 different businesses, and now we're giving money away to different children's charities and schools. Awesome. As a matter of fact, we just arranged to purchase 200 jackets that we're going to distribute through the Ferguson-Florissant School District, and this is going to be distributed through our Ferguson Police Department. So we're partnering with the Sports Print doing that. And through that office of the I Love Ferguson office, you've been able to meet people, I'm sure, from all over. All over the world, quite frankly. We have shirts or products or cups in 49 different countries in all 50 states. And as a matter of fact, just yesterday we had 3 orders over the internet. So we're still receiving orders from all over the United States and all over the world. So it's amazing. And
why is that important? I mean, certainly you're raising money for the great causes, but do you think that that's important beyond just
Well, sure. I mean, it's showing that people care, that people are tuned in to a situation that is a part of our history now. And I kind of joke about it, but it used to be when you would travel, you'd say you're from St. Louis because nobody knew what Ferguson was. And today, no matter if you're in Iowa or you're in Hong Kong, you know where the city of Ferguson is, for good or bad. We do have an identity now.
Right. Do you think in any way that your experience as a former mayor of this community helped you, or I don't know if there's anything that can prepare you for the type of events that unfold?
I think what being in political office a long time, it helps you to develop a sense of what you should listen to and what is just people complaining. It does tend to give you a thicker skin because you do take a lot of abuse. People get frustrated and they lash out their elected officials, and I accept that. I think it's prepared me to have a greater understanding of the financial situation we're in because I have that budgetary experience, not only with the city of Ferguson, but being a school board member with the Ferguson-Florissant School District for years also helped me. Very large budget.
Let's stay on that topic. I mean, do you think, we certainly know that there's a serious financial challenge, if you want to use the term. Do you think the city can recover? Or what do you tell to residents? I mean, you're a homeowner.
Yeah, it's going to take multiple efforts on different fronts. It'll probably take several budgetary cuts that may involve employees. It will take probably some revenue increases through taxes, and a combination of both. There's not one simple solution. It is a major concern. Some of the things will correct themselves as the economy continues to improve. Sales tax will improve. Hopefully we'll be able to attract more businesses and create, utility tax and things of that nature. But I do think that Ferguson has a bright future. I came back on the council because I felt I could contribute to help heal the city and bring it forward.
And I know you seem to connect with a lot of people who felt like they weren't heard. I remember when you were campaigning. Do you feel like you personally are making a better connection, or helping them to make a better connection with government?
Sure. I am very accessible, and I do listen well, and I understand the concerns and fears that our residents have. The number one largest thing that they purchase in their life is their home, and there's a great concern that the values of their home have lowered, not only as a result of the unrest, but as a result of the recession that we went through. So most of the Ferguson, North County residents have seen about 30% reduction in their property values, which has reduced the taxes to the city as well. So we need to get our home property values back up, and not that we want to see people's taxes increase, but they also know that their property values are increasing at the same time.
If you can say, do you know how that fits with the surrounding area? I mean, is Ferguson kind of alone, or?
Well, no, Ferguson's not alone in that. I mean, everyone's noticed the depreciation. It was noted a week or so ago, though, that the property values have started to turn around, especially in Ferguson. That's due to the fact that a lot of foreclosures have gone through the process now, and that devalued the price of the properties. Now that there's not as many foreclosures, the median home value is starting to increase, and that was a pleasant surprise that I heard. 2016 goals or hopes as we go into this. Well, we're still have a pending situation with the Department of Justice to come to some type of agreement, if we possibly can, to move our city and our individuals, citizens forward. I know that's kind of a noose around our neck right now, because the financial credibility of the city with Moody Corporation depends upon our future outlook for our revenue. So the sooner we can resolve that issue, the better it will be for our financial structure and help us move forward. So. You know, but it's all workable. It's just a matter of working out the details and listening to what the wishes of the citizens are.
Let's stay on that for a second. You know, we've heard some voices in the community just say that, you know, they weren't kept in the loop about DOJ and they don't know enough. Explain what, obviously there are details you cannot say, and that's part of your answer. But explain what the process is like dealing with. You know, you got attorneys. I mean, this is there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but there's also been many different town hall meetings. Quite frankly, if you wanted an opportunity to express your opinion, your concerns, your feelings, what you'd like to see the city accomplish, there have been the opportunities. You need to take those opportunities. So sometimes the meetings are not as attended as well as we like to see the public input. I think there is a little bit of fatigue, mental fatigue, from the number of meetings we've had, quite frankly. Trying to sort out which are the ones I need to be at, which are the ones maybe I don't need to be at. So that's our job as a city council, to try to point out the important meetings that they do need to attend. I, as a council person, I can speak for myself, I want to know the input of the citizens and how they feel. That was what I was elected to do. So it's important to me to hear from people. But, you know, there's other ways that people communicate. They call you on the phone, they'll see you at the grocery store, at church, and they certainly aren't shy about telling you what their opinions are.
Sure.
Sometimes they want to say them in private because they don't want to take the public stand at a meeting, but they do share.
And so what you can assure people is that even though they're not privy to the inner workings of the negotiation process, you have their voice, hopefully.
Exactly.
And you're bringing that to the table.
We are bringing that to the table. We're asking that the Department of Justice does allow us the opportunity before we have to vote on to show the agreement in public, so that we can have even further input and guidance in making our decision. So I believe there will be that opportunity, and I'm pushing for that personally. The more input we can, is the better off we can be.
And I know that it seems like everybody's admitted you know, a lot of lessons have been learned in this whole process and challenge of getting through the year. Do you think that, I guess, do you feel like we're a better connected community, or it was always a diverse community, but at least some people felt like people weren't talking as much. And stay right there. I'm going to come right back. We're going to take a break, Brian.
Okay.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with more.
All right.
In Ferguson, we're serving up happiness.
In Ferguson, we're serving up hospitality.
In Ferguson, we're serving up peace.
In Ferguson, we're serving up optimism.
In Ferguson, we're serving up change.
Ferguson is our home, and you're always welcome here.
When I'm working, things can get so hectic, so sometimes I need to find an easy way to express what's most important to me. Like with my crew, I use shorthand to tell them what I need. And when I need to talk directly to my fans. But the most meaningful shorthand of all is the one I use when I'm about to drive. #X. It's an easy way to tell everyone that I'm about to drive, and I do it every time before I get behind the wheel. Use #X to pause the conversation before you drive, because no text is worth a life.
All right, thanks for coming back with more of City Matters. We're here with Brian Fletcher. And Brian, let's pick up where I left off. You know, Ferguson has always been a diverse community, one of the most or more diverse communities. But you know, people still felt like, well, we learned that people still felt like we weren't connected.
You can never over communicate. You can always learn. But you're correct. It was a little surprising that the discussion occurred here. Maybe in God's wisdom, he understood that Ferguson had the strength to handle it. But we have, 1994, we had what we call the Oak Park Exchange, which was acknowledging that our community was changing and that we had to grow and use that as a strength. And out of that, we formed an organization called Proud People Reaching Out for Unity and Diversity. And I've always been very proud to be an elected official. And you know, for whatever reasons, African Americans and not only our community, but in a lot of communities, have been shy about seeking elected office. And I'm proud to say that I was on the council when we appointed several African Americans to take that first step and to show that African Americans could be supported. As a matter of fact, both the individuals that did get appointed ran on their own and were successful in their election. So now we have 3 African Americans on the council, and I think that anyone that doesn't feel they have a chance now has been proven they can win if they put on a successful campaign.
Right.
So that's good for inclusion.
Sure. And besides that, the other thing too, you know, people got to turn out to vote.
Yes.
And then too, just like you mentioned about coming to council meetings, you got to be engaged.
You have to participate. You know, it's you know, there's an old saying, don't complain if you don't participate or you don't vote, you know. And there is some truth to that. You really, I know some people don't feel like their vote makes a difference, but you know, a lot of things in history have been decided by one vote, and it really is important. I remember as at age 24 in the city of Country Club Hills, I ran for mayor and I lost by 11 votes. So, I mean, votes can be close sometimes, and believe me, I learned a lesson, you know, that every vote counts at that time in my life.
But one of the other things I wanted to talk about is the police department. We're in a process now of seeking a permanent police chief.
Yeah.
What are some things, I know we were on a path with interim Chief Andre Anderson with community policing and making some changes.
Right.
Do you want to see, I guess, the police department continue in that direction, or?
Oh, it's definitely important. I mean, there's no doubt. I think police departments got away from that. I remember as a child growing up in Delwood, and we knew our officers by name. I still remember Officer Clarence, and he would stop when he saw a group of kids on the corner, engage a conversation. He'd usually have some trinket, whether it was a baseball card or a comic book, something that he probably got donated from some company, but it made us feel like we knew him personally, and we did. And we'd look for his squad car, and there were other officers like that too. So, you know, it's important that our officers engage, especially the youth, because they're our future. And we need them to feel like they can speak freely, and if there's a situation of a serious nature, that they have the comfort level to go speak to them honestly and perhaps stop something before it occurs. So definitely, I fully support community policing. Getting out of the car, stopping and talking, it's so important to engage the community.
I've had a conversation with Andre Anderson many times about, why would you leave a job and come to Ferguson?
Right.
Well, it's a heck of a job. What type of police chief, as a permanent police chief, do you think, or do you hope to have, or what's needed, I guess?
Somebody, first of all, is going to want to be here. All right, that's not just taking it because it's a salary, but somebody that truly wants to make a difference in a community. This is a community they can do it in. And I think if they can succeed in Ferguson after what we've been through, they probably can succeed anywhere. And somebody who's honest and open and friendly, engaging, has somewhat of a personality and a character. They're going to have to not be a shy person. They're going to have to be an extrovert. So those are the kind of qualities I'm looking for. Plus somebody that knows how to run a police department efficiently. Right. I mean, in addition to being an extrovert and outgoing character, they also have to know how to run and have discipline with their officers.
I know I've been surprised at one point, and very happy to see that many of the community events that have taken place in Ferguson, with Northern Lights, all of the events on the music, the festivals, people have come out, and you see, it gives you a glimpse of, well, this is Ferguson. Just for that moment, if nothing else.
That is the true part of Ferguson, whether it's the 4th of July Festival or the Street Fest, or like you said, the Northern Lights Festival. We are known for community activities, whether it's the summer concert series. That's what makes Ferguson special. Without that, we're not the unique city that I've known Ferguson to be. That's why I stay here. And that's what I'm going to continue to push for, is that interactive. And our farmers market, I mean, you can't get any better. Our 13th year of our farmers market just completed, and it's a great place for people to come out and meet with their friends and their neighbors and have a great time.
Yeah, and I guess the point, even more so than just the crowds, is just the diversity, I guess, is what I've been to say.
Yeah, exactly.
All ages, and it's like, well, this is
and we are getting back to a sense of normalcy over the last couple months now. There was concerns last year about what would happen if they came out, but I've seen a return to normalcy, and that's an excellent thing. We've had a good year for the most part, and we're working through the issues we need to work through. But I want people to realize something. What's happened in Ferguson these past 15, 16 months could have happened on almost any city in the United States, and it happened here, and we accept that opportunity and that challenge, and we hope to be a model community from this point forward, so that people can see how things are done properly and how you can live together in a diverse community and move forward.
Getting there, we made certainly some progress, but still a ways to go.
Yeah.
How do you manage to, in your day-to-day life, I mean, it's a lot on your shoulders, you and then the other council members?
Well, my past, I have an understanding of a lot of the people in the community. I grew up in poverty. My father died when I was a teenager. I have lived on food stamps when I was a child. I took advantage of Pell Grants. I have a direct understanding of some of the many frustrations that, 25% of our population lives in poverty in Ferguson, 1 out of 4. Wow. And so I understand that, and I know what the struggle is, but I will tell any individual that's living through that struggle and that frustration is take advantage of the opportunities. They only knock once sometimes, and you have to take the opportunity to use those opportunities to better yourself and make a life for yourself and your family. It can be done. I'm proof of that. And I'm an early retiree and enjoying life and serving my community, and that's what I was taught as a youth coming up, is that get involved and make a difference in your community, and don't complain, do something about it.
I like that a lot. And then just talk about, I guess, what are some things people don't necessarily know? What do you do in your spare time?
Well, I don't have a lot of spare time, even though I'm retired. I chair the I Love Ferguson committee. I'm on the city council. I volunteer in the immediate past year of the 4th of July Festival committee. So I'm always volunteering my services. So what I do enjoy is traveling. My wife is retiring in February as well, and we hope to take more trips with the Ferguson Parks and Recreation.
All right. Brian,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you
Well,
for
thank
joining
you,
us.
Jeff.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. And thank you for joining us for another edition of City Matters.